Hello my fellow Christian fiction lovers, welcome to another video. Today we're doing a reading vlog for a book that I am so excited to read, and I've enjoyed reading the first 100 pages of it. Yes, I have started it already because this is just a theme with reading vlogs, you know? I never start them before I start reading the book, but whatever, we're here and it's gonna happen. So the book I'm reading for today's reading vlog is The Master Craftsman by Kelli Stuart. This is a new release, and I don't think this is Kelli Stuart's first book, but The Master Craftsman, the one I'm currently reading, is a dual timeline novel, and the historical setting is in like the early 1900s, following a couple different characters, but all centered around Carl Fabergé and like the foundation of that company, and like how he makes jewelry and the like Fabergé eggs for the Tsarina, I think, basically like the princess of Russia. In the present day we follow Ava. We follow Ava and her estranged father as they are treasure hunting the egg. Or one of the Fabergé eggs, I should say. I'm tired, if you couldn't tell, as I'm trying to talk about this book. But I've started reading it, I'm 100 pages in, and I'm gonna have to break this up into talking by page number because this book does not have numbered chapters. Each chapter starts like that, and it doesn't have a number, it just tells you the setting and what year it is. So that's very interesting. I don't think I've read many books like that. Normally books like that annoy me because I'm like, I need to know the number chapter I'm on. I'm not a page number reader, I'm a chapter number reader, if that makes sense, like tracking my progress and stuff. But I guess we're gonna have to switch things up for this read. So far I'm to the point kind of where in the historical setting, Carl Fabergé has kind of just employed a new apprentice who, based on what we know from the present day setting, she does a lot within the Fabergé company and kind of comes to be well known in that company. And then in the present day we've just gotten to the point where Nick, the father, and Ava, the daughter, have agreed to work together to find one of the lost Fabergé eggs. And it's kind of a slow start to me. This book is roughly 400 pages. I feel like 100 pages in, that's a slow start to me. I think that it's gonna start picking up now. But it's a very laid back style of writing. I do like a bit more, some would even call it dramatic style of writing. This one is definitely a bit more plain and not as well developed in that department, but the story seems like it's going to develop itself well, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it is going. But those are all my thoughts currently. I will catch up with you once I've read another 100 pages. 200 pages through The Master Craftsman. I'm halfway through it now. The plot is still moving like really slowly, I have to admit, and I am definitely more of a quicker paced plot person. Like, I enjoy a quicker paced plot, but this is definitely, it's a cute book, and I don't necessarily know if it was intended to be a cute book, but it's kind of like very tropey, very cliche, a little predictable, but it's kind of a bit like unrealistic, and that's kind of why I'm calling it a cute book. It's a bit dramatic at times, especially in the present day with them hunting down the egg, and like they literally put on disguises as they go out and like do research about the egg, and I don't know, it feels a little like, would that really happen? But it's a fun read. Like, it's fun to read if you are able to like set aside, okay, this isn't realistic, this is just a fun book to read. It's a bit cheesy at times, which is not necessarily my favorite thing to read. I just really had to kind of like take a step back and realize this isn't the typical type of book I read. But yeah, those are my current thoughts so far. I'm really hoping the plot does pick up really soon. So far, I'd say this is a solid 3-star read for me. Like, I am enjoying it, and it's far from the worst book I've ever read, but it's also far from the best book I've ever read, if that makes sense. I hope you guys are hearing that. But anyway, those are my thoughts so far. I am halfway through it, as you can see. And yeah, I will get back to you after I've read another 100 pages. We're 300 pages through the Master Craftsman. We're not, I am. I don't know why I said that, unless you're reading with me. That'd be kind of fun. This book is still just like really fun and just chill. It's not really all that tense or like super dramatic. I think there are some over dramatic elements to it, but I think they're being played like, it's being played to be a bit over dramatic, you know? That's just how the story goes. The events taking place in the past, the historical setting, doesn't really have a plot. There's only one thread kind of connecting it all, but I'd say it's more like little excerpts of the story that really highlight the plot of the present day setting. I'm enjoying the historical setting, but there's not like a set plot that is going on. There's just little moments that we are kind of extracting for the benefit of the present day setting. So some thoughts on the present day setting. It is so cute. It is like literally just a little rom-com brought to life, except it's not exactly, it's not very romancy. I mean, there's 2 guys and 1 girl, and like both guys kind of like the girl, and she doesn't really like either of them, but she's kind of leaning towards one of them, so it's not a love triangle, thank the Lord. I mean, some people might say it is, but it's not like a sappy, overdramatic one. So that's the only kind of romancy stuff going on, but it has the vibes of a rom-com and just a really funny teens type of movie. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure if I'm supposed to be taking this book seriously, like if it's supposed to have a serious tense to it, or if it's more just a funny, not funny, but just chill, easygoing story. I don't know if I'm misreading it or not, but those are the vibes that I'm picking up. Those are the current thoughts. I have less than 100 pages left. Once I'm done with it, I will get back to you with my final thoughts. I finished it. I completed the Master Craftsman, and I finished my first semester at college, part-time. Next year I'll be a full-time student, but kind of, they happen in the same day, so I'm still like kind of on a high from finishing my college classes. But anyway, that is not what this video is about. This video is about the Master Craftsman, which I did finish, and I have some thoughts. Obviously, I've been sharing those thoughts, but I would give this a solid 3.5 stars. It is a good book. The characters are relatable enough, more in the present day setting. The main character is relatable. The plot is not there in the historical setting, like kind of at all. There is no plot, but that's okay. She uses those chapters in the historical setting to really highlight what the discoveries being made in the present day setting. The present day setting's plot had a lot going on. It took a minute to get into it, but once it really got into it, the last half of the book was constant action. They were not sitting still for a single second when they were going on the treasure hunt. There was a fun little twist that definitely had a lot of foreshadowing to it. I saw it coming. The ending of this book, the resolution, I also saw coming. It was a little predictable. There was one kind of twist about what happened to the egg. I didn't see that coming, so I guess it's a minor spoiler. There is a twist at the end about that. I did not see that one coming. I was a little surprised, but it made sense, and I kind of liked it. Also, thoughts about the ending of this book. It's not a they all lived happily ever after ending. It's definitely more of a hope for the future type of ending, and kind of speculating about what will happen next in these characters' lives based on what they went through during the novel. And I liked that. I did like that. I don't like they lived happily ever after the end endings. I'm not a big fan of those. So I appreciated this resolution. that didn't resolve everything, you know. So I know you guys always ask about the faith element in books, and there's not a strong faith element in this book really at all. There's mentions of God and the church, and I guess hints at some of the characters having a relationship with God, but they don't really lean on God or bring faith into the story at all. There's no prayer, where there were scenes that like could have really had that tied in, and it wasn't really tied in at all. So if you're expecting a strong faith element in this book, it isn't really there. Overall, 3.5 stars, did enjoy it, would recommend it. It's not my typical read. I don't know if I'll necessarily read other things by Kelli Stuart in the future, since I did find it definitely very like pure escapism and not rooted in reality, but it was a fun read and I enjoyed reading it in between studying for my finals, which were very rooted in reality, in my reality. So let me know your thoughts on the Master Craftsman, if you have read it, if you're planning on reading it, all the thoughts on it. I would love to discuss it in the comments. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video, whatever that is. Until then, bye!